Guardians, what's going on? Blue Knight here. Today I'm going to show you how you can solo the Proving Ground GM on Warlock. Let's take a look at the build real quick. First off, let me say we're over 500 subs. I believe last time I checked we were at 502 subs. I greatly appreciate you all. I know that it took me a little bit to get other videos out since pretty much last season. I finally got a new job, which is great, but I've got to be in office 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, so I don't have all the free time that I had before. So videos might slow down a little bit. I still want to give you all quality videos, though. That's why there might be a little fewer in between. I'm going to try and focus on the GM videos and other maybe solo videos on the weekends. But yeah, so I greatly appreciate you all. 502 subs is ridiculous. Next milestone, 600 subs. Let's see if we can get there. All right, so looking at the subclass here, we've got Song of Flame. We want this for the damage resistance. It comes in clutch for popping the shield barrier for the final boss and the very first boss. You'll see that in the video. I actually have to wait at the very end for my super, so we'll fast forward through that part when we get there. But yeah, so we're doing Song of Flame, we're doing Healing Rift, we're doing Burst Glide, the only movement I'll probably ever use. Arcane Needle, this is very important. The reason being is because Unraveling is another damage over time as long as they're taking damage. So we're going to be... And with the Facet of Dawn, it'll make us Radiant. And we have 3 opportunities to make ourselves Radiant. There are a lot of barrier champs in this GM. So we want the Radiant to help us. And we get 3 charges of this melee. Healing Grenade. This is going to work two ways for us. We've got Bleak Watchers. So Healing Grenade, you can consume it and then throw a Bleak Watcher turret. Plus we've got our exotic chest piece here, which we'll go over. But we can also just throw it and heal ourselves with it. So very versatile. It can, 2-in-1 little machine. It's amazing. Speaking of aspects, we've already talked about Bleak Watchers. Now we've got Feed the Void. Must have. Many times this has saved my life. I can toss 3 of my Arcane Needles at something in this GM at like red bars, and more than likely they'll die from it. So that'll proc Devour, and then so on and so forth. We've got another way of procking Devour, but that's in the seasonal artifact, and we'll go over that. Now onto the fragments. Faceted Protection. Must have. While surrounded by combatants who are more resistant to incoming damage, while transcendent, the effect is increased. You want this. It saved my butt many times, plus the final boss, when you're in there trying to break the shield generator, this is going to come in handy because you're going to take less damage. You will take damage from the final boss. There is no avoiding it. Facets of Courage. Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with Darkness debuff. So we slow and freeze with our Bleak Watcher turrets, and then we apply Unraveling with our Strand melee. So those are both Darkness debuffs, and our Solar ability, so our super is going to deal more damage to those affected by that. We are going to be creating a lot of stasis crystals and frozen combatants and all of this stuff. With our super, we're also going to be creating ignitions. So another must-have, in my opinion. It increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target and increase the area of effect of solar ignitions. We already talked about this, but Faceted Dawn, we want it to become Radiant. Our GL, our kinetic slot GL, will be anti-barrier. I'll throw up a little clip on the screen now of it, and you can see where it helps me pop the barrier. So we'll go over that in the seasonal artifact, though. And then we've got Faceted Command. Freezing or suppressing a target reloads your equipped weapons. So you'll see multiple times. I'll throw another clip up here when I'm using a weapon, and when a target gets frozen, it'll reload it. So that way you're able to put more damage downrange towards the enemies. All right, let's look at the weapons. I have tried Lost Signal, I'm not even going to try and say that, and then Wither Horde. So Wither Horde worked pretty well. You just couldn't direct impact things. I'll go over it. Seasonal artifact kind of has a lot of reason why we're using a grenade launcher in the primary slot anyway. But we completed it with Lost Signal. We've got auto loading Demolitionist on it. Demolitionist is great because it'll help us get our grenade back faster for heals or for turrets, and then auto loading because you can shoot it, stow it, and not have to worry about it. Briar's Love. This thing is amazing. Doom of Chelchis is, you know, a little bit better, not gonna lie, or is better because it has double damage perks. You can get Frenzy and Explosive Payload on it. So not horrible. I mean, Doom of Chelchis is amazing. If you've got that with that roll, use that instead of Briar's Love. Briar's Love is more easily attainable. It's not a weapon that you have to do raids for. So that's why I'm using it. Shoot to loot Explosive Payload. I shoot to loot a couple things here and there. And then Explosive Payload just does more damage. The build on this is I maximized range, because in the second encounter, there are these scions, these snipers up on the sides of the building and up on the left and the right, and you just want them taken out as fast as you can because it kind of gives you can't really hide from them. You can, but you're hiding from them and you're exposing yourself to something, you know, right next to you or a little bit more deadly. So take them out, but we'll go over that. This helped us. Head rush is great. You crouch for a little bit and then you stand up and it grants you a short period of improved handling and reload. Not a bad, if you remember to do it. I don't ever remember to do it, but it's there just in case. And then we have Deterministic Chaos. I have tried Doom Petitioner. I have tried the Prosecutor. I have tried Leviathan's Breath. Actually, no, I haven't tried the Prosecutor. It was Doom Petitioner and Leviathan's Breath. The reason why I went with Deterministic Chaos is because it is intrinsically anti-barrier. And like I said before, there are a lot of barrier champs in this GM. So make sure you have something. You don't have to run it. I've seen people run it with their GLs and stuff. But the reason why I'm not running a GL is, I'm not kidding you when I say this, this probably took me 40 times to clear, to get this all the way. I would keep getting to the final boss, and then hence our clan's name, Insurmountable Mechanic. I just do something stupid and I die to it. So, but anyway, Deterministic Chaos really did help out a lot with the barrier champs. It's able to apply a lot of damage. It's intrinsically anti-barrier. It weakens. It makes stuff volatile. It's got ricochet rounds. It's just, this thing really is good. I don't know why a lot more people don't really use it that often. All right, looking at the seasonal artifact. Let's see here. First column, what we care about. Anti-barrier scout rifle. That's it. You do not want overload, breach load, grenade launcher on. You don't want this on. The reason being, once you go radiant, this becomes anti-barrier. So that's why you do not want overload, breach loaded grenade launcher on. You don't want it if you're running this build. If you're running, that's why I don't have it on. The seasonal artifact overwrites like radiant, intrinsic, anti-barrier, stuff like that. So yeah, that's why you don't want overload, breach load, grenade launcher on. Second column, Killing Breeze is fun. It definitely comes in handy in the second encounter when you're just really wanting to move around a lot. You don't want to sit still for too long, especially once the tanks come out. So just, this helps you kind of just move. We have Fell the Revenant. There aren't any Scorn, so this is just there. And then we have Rapid Impacts. We are using a grenade launcher, but we don't care about the reload because it's got auto loading holster on it. Third column, we have Total Carnage. So we, just in case, if we need to finish something to not die, we can, and then we'll get a little bit of damage resistance afterwards. So that's why I've got that. It's always good to have, in my opinion. This is just kind of a staple. Power from Pain. This is why we're using a grenade launcher. Not why, but this is one other reason why we're using a grenade launcher like Lost Signal. Rapid final blows against weakened combatants grants you Devour. Well, how are we weakening them with a Stasis GL? With Concussive Reload. Using a grenade launcher to damage a boss, damage a champion, or breaking combatant shield weakens them. It's just, it has the capability of proccing. I don't think I procced it at all, but I see where the application is. And then, yeah, let's just talk about concussive reload. It weakens things. It makes them take more damage. Why wouldn't you use it? And then Hail the Storm. We're actually using a tonic to boost this. So as you can see, this boost is active. So shattering a stasis crystal releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. We're going to be creating a lot of stasis crystals with our exotic with our exotic chest piece. The boost is shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. So we're getting that increased damage from our subclass, and then we're getting even more increased damage from Hail the Storm. Must have if you're running this. Brain Freeze, another must have. Frozen combatants become surrounded by chilled fog, which slows combatants that aren't already slowed. Weapons with Dark Ether Reaper origin trait deal more damage to frozen combatants. We're not using any of those. That doesn't apply to us, but it helps more crowd control. There's a lot of, I think I had like 202 kills, so there are quite a bit of ads in this, and you just really need to, that crowd control. I took everything out. Like at the beginning, I didn't skip everything and only take out the champions. No, like I just move my way up. You'll see it in the video. And then Served Cold, we can create stasis crystals. Whether or not we actually run over there and try and pick them up, we don't. But if we happen to get one and we need class ability energy, this is another thing that we can use. We're not using Arc or Void abilities or Dark Ether Reaper weapons, so this doesn't make any sense. We're not using a stasis weapon for Frost Armor or anything like that. This is what we ran. We were able to get it done. All right, now let's look at the armor. First and foremost, you want to get your resilience up to 100 first. I'm fortunate enough to have 100 resilience, 100 discipline, and then a tier 8 recovery. So we're able to recover health at a 29% recovery rate, so that's not bad at all. I would like that 34%, but it's not really a deal breaker in my opinion. You definitely want the resilience to go up to 100 first, because that mitigates 30% of incoming damage. Now let's look at the exotic chest piece here. Rime Coat Raiment. I was like, what is it called? It doesn't say up here. I thought it did. So Rime Coat Raiment. Your Bleak Watcher turrets are enhanced with extended range and surrounded by stasis crystals and a storm. So you can use this thing offensively, and you can see in the video, sometimes I use it offensively and sometimes I use it defensively. It works both ways. This is a great new exotic. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, and stasis crystals in a storm. While standing in the storm, you are granted icicles over time. Icicles activate when you fire your weapon, applying a slow to targets they hit. Not only slow, but it can also freeze. All right, so let's look at the mods we run in. We don't care about orbs. We're not doing anything with orbs. So yeah, so there's that. Deep Explorer Hood are on our helmet. We have the Heavy Ammo Finder, and then we have Void Targeting. We want to be able to hit those crits, we want to be able to hit the crits with our scout rifle. So Void Targeting is going to help us do that. And then Heavy Ammo Finder is going to help with finding heavy ammo for us. There's not really a shortage of heavy ammo until the final boss room. So with this, it's not that big of a deal. On our gauntlets, we're primarily going to be using Briar's Contempt, which is our Void Scout Rifle. So I have these on here because I really want to, I just want to reload faster. That's the downtime that you have is reloading. We're using 2 Void weapons. I'll go over why we're using 2 Void weapons whenever we load into the game, into the GM, but just hold off until then. You don't want to miss it. Onto our chest piece. I highly recommend you running single solar, single void damage resistances with a concussive damper. If you cannot swing a concussive damper, do double void, single solar. The reason I say that is because there are more things that are concussive, like grenades and stuff like that. But I highly recommend running a concussive damper. I highly recommend running this. But again, if not, then run double void, single solar. Onto the legs, we have stasis scavengers, so that way we pick up more ammo for our grenade launcher. We have void scavengers, so that way we pick up more ammo for our machine gun. And then we have void holster, because I don't ever really want to reload deterministic chaos, so this will kind of do it over time while it's stowed. onto our class item. I just realized I only had distribution on here, nothing else. If anything, I would have done double distribution, and that would have helped out a lot. But I ran it with one distribution, and we're totally fine. Now, you might notice that we're not running anything that's going to get our abilities back faster or anything like that, and that's where the beginning of the GM comes into play. So without further ado, let's jump in there, and we'll talk about it. All right, here we are. Getting ready to launch in. I got it paused right now because I want to talk about this little void hunger thing. The worm is interesting to say the least. It allows you, that's why we're using void weapons. And I've tried Briar's Love with precision instrument and with explosive payload on this GM, and the explosive payload seems to get the void satiation much faster than precision instrument. So that's why we're using explosive head or explosive payload instead of precision instrument on Briar's Love. And then we're using another void machine gun that happens to be intrinsically anti-barrier, but we're using that as well for more void damage to satiate the worm. The amount of energy that you get from this is a lot of fun. I mean, you can have with the exotic chest piece that we have on, we can get 3 turrets down in the time that one of them might break. So we're able to get a lot of ability recharge rate, and that's why we don't have any ability recharging mods on our armor. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it now. All right, so here at the beginning, I usually will jump, do a double jump, and then come down on the slanted piece of grassy hill, and that kind of pushes me forward. I've learned a lot of how you can manipulate your movement based on terrain in this game. So you'll see here, I'll jump, I'll come down on this thing, and it kind of launches me forward. While it launches me, I throw a grenade, and then I do a carpet of the grenade launcher, and that'll help take out a lot of the things down there, shatter the stasis crystals. You can see over there on the left, we have the ability surge. Starts off at 20 seconds, and that's how we're able to get our abilities back so fast. Look at our grenade here. A third, half, more, 2/3, and then full. Taking things out as well as using void weapons in this GM is really fun. But yeah, here at the beginning, we're just shooting. We're just trying to take everything out as we go up the hill. The last thing we want to really worry about is the champion, in my opinion. There's one Unstop here. Actually, let me get a pad of paper here and start writing these down, because when I do the thumbnail, or when I do the description, I need to make sure I can tell. I need to make sure that I know how many champions there are to put in the description. So we have one Unstop, and then we're gonna have 2 Unstops coming up, and then we're gonna have 1 barrier. Anyway, this barrier comes down. I want to be able to throw a grenade over this rock to the right, or at least near the rock on the right, and that will freeze the barrier. I want to hit them with our grenade launcher because it weakens, and then we can just lay into them with Deterministic Chaos, as you saw. All right, be careful jumping up here on the left, because there's a turret. Our turret took out the turret on the right. There's that Scorpius turret. There are 3 more Scorpius turrets back in the back when we fight this first boss, but I'm not really too terribly worried about them right now. We're just trying to take out all of the Legionaries. I'm trying to focus on the ones that are frozen, so that way we can just get them taken out, get the shatter damage on them and stuff. There we go. Once you move forward on the rock, there's 2 little rocks. That little black spawn on the rock right there in front of me. You want to move right about to there, and that's when stuff will start spawning in. The spawns in this first section are based on how far you get, not when you take stuff out. There's 1 Scorpius turret. There's another Scorpius turret that we're taking out. Be careful of these, because they will end your run pretty quickly. Go ahead and hit this guy with none of those. I just realized that as well. I shook my mouse there. Had to reload. All right, now we're gonna throw another one down. Hopefully I can get some good fast at a command going here. There we go. Take him out. Just as fast. We don't really have to take him out as fast as we can. We've got our ability surge going. So I'm kind of waiting to put down another turret right here. And then we're going to swap to our grenade launcher and just start doing a little bit of damage to stuff. A little bit of damage is better than no damage. I focused this Honored Phalanx because that's the guy who has those solar orbs coming out the top of his head. And I just don't want to deal with them. There we go. He's already stunned. Going to put another damage over time on him. We're going to put another turret down. We can have turrets down regularly. We're focusing on the Unstop champ here because when we get this boss down to half health, then we will the next phase will begin. We have to pop the shield generator, but there will be an Unstop and like 6 Cabal that spawn through the door to our left. So that's why I'm standing here. We're going to get a grenade out. I'll show you. Make sure you save a grenade, especially whenever this guy gets half health. So that way you can throw your Bleak Watcher at the door and freeze the things as they come out. When we get there, I'll show you. We're really close. I got ability surge. I've almost got my grenade IC, so there we go. We're going to turn. We're going to throw a grenade at the door, pull out our lost signal, wait for them to come out. As they come out, the Phalanx will jump. If they jump, it'll be a little bit harder. It's not the end of the world if they do jump, but I would just try not to let them jump as they come out. All right, there we go. So that guy's taken out. Now is the harder part. I just go ahead and super here and do it. You take a lot less damage when you're in your super. That's why we're using Song of Flame. So we're going to jump over him, and we're just going to start taking out the generator. The way to do this without your super is just really be careful and make sure he's shooting. Make sure he's shooting the shield generator and not you. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We just throw a grenade. I didn't mean for it to go up there, but it's not the end of the world. We're gonna get a weaken on the boss, and then we're just gonna take him out. I actually end up getting stuck here for a second until I realized that I could mantle that. That was a little frustrating, but not too bad. I want the boss to come back in here. I believe he does, and he just TPs right here in front of me, if I'm not mistaken. Was this the run? I don't know. Like I said before, I've done this close to 40 times, and I finally got it. But again, our clan name is Insurmountable Mechanic. And we are the Insurmountable Mechanic. You're going to pick up as much ammo as we can to try and get our grenade launcher back to full. Pull out our vehicle. We're going to jump over those barriers. The reason why we do that is so that way we can get to this next area fast enough. You don't have to if you don't have a skimmer. Not a big deal. If you do get through there fast, and then there are 3 Cabal that are going to spawn here. All right. There we go. All right, now we've got a short run to, in my opinion, the hardest part of this GM. In this part, rule number 1, keep moving. Don't stop moving. You just need to keep going. A lot of the shots that the Cabal have, except for the snipers, are skill shots, so they'll shoot and it'll go in a straight line. Just remember that. So try and move unpredictably. All right, these are the Scions that I was talking about. I was able to take one out super fast, but we're just trying to lay some damage on the other one. We're going to get a grenade off here in a second and start worrying about the things, not worrying, but start getting ready for the things that come through the middle. If your grenade forms, or if your turret forms, and there are those explosive barrels there, and they explode, they will take out your turret. So try and shoot them before your turret spawns, or try and shoot them at the very beginning, so that way you don't have to worry about that happening to you. There is one heavy brick. I'm getting void baned through the bottom here. We're gonna go ahead and super so that way we don't die. You can see just how much damage resistance we have. We're able to just absolutely take this honor guard out. There we go. Put down a healing rift so that way we are good. Put a carpet. It's all about, this part's not the hardest part. It's whenever the tanks come out. Right now, you really only have to worry about those interceptors. Because as you can see, even with one solar damage resistance and a concussive damper on, they almost one-shot you. Yeah, make sure you really pay attention to them, take them out. Once you start getting manageable, I would say your safe spot's over here on the left where I am. Once everything is manageable, what you want to do is worry about the barriers. The last two things you want to take out is the interceptor on the right and then the interceptor in the back of the room. Other than that, take everything out. There's a reason for it, and I'll show you when we get there. But yeah, we're just kind of taking our time. I don't want to use heavy here because I don't want to run out, or I don't want to need it and not have it. We're not in any danger right now. This isn't really like a race. We're just trying to get the completion. Right there, again, I completely forgot about the interceptor, and it almost took me out. Go ahead and get a stun on them. We'll become Radiance. Radiance also a 25% buff to outgoing damage, so from weapons. So it's very nice to have, especially in the GM. We're going to get some damage on the interceptor here, and then we're going to take the pilot out. All right, so you see those two markers now. One of them is this Opus dude. And then once you get down to 2 or 3 of them, there's going to be a bunch of war beasts that spawn, as you see here. Not a big deal. Just take them out. You'll hear them as they spawn in. They start growling. So you don't really have to worry about those because they're audio cues. There's audio cues for a lot of things in this GM. We got a little stockpile of heavy ammo over here. That's why I'm not trying to run into it, because the max I can hold is 361, and I'm at 359, so I really don't need to have it. Some more Legionnaires are gonna push us. No big deal. There we go. I see that there are 3 heavy bricks over here, and I'm excited because I can really use heavy here coming up soon. I probably should have there. Hindsight's 2020. I could have hit him with another melee. I did it with this guy anyway, and got Devour procced. But yeah, I did it with that second guy anyway. We're gonna get a damage over time on them. I think I hit the interceptor there instead of Opus. Be careful of the interceptor. All right, Opus is taken out. Now it's just the interceptor. So I'm going to go out of range. The range of the interceptor, that ramp right there that you just saw, that's like the range of the interceptor. He's not going to come towards you. Just don't go past that ramp on the right, and he won't shoot at you. I'm just waiting to see what'll take him out. This next section, what is going to be... what's going to be the hardest part? There's going to be a barrier that's going to come out of the door down to our right here in the bottom of the pit. You'll see we're going to throw a grenade, use our grenade launcher, swap the Deterministic Chaos, and Super, all within the matter of seconds. So there's a grenade. There's our grenade launcher. Here's our Super. Here's Deterministic Chaos. He's already down to 1/3 of his health just after the grenade launcher and the... just from the grenade launcher and the grenade. Take out those Scions immediately so that way you don't have to worry about them. Like I said, though, this is the most important part where you want to keep moving. I still have some Super, and I know I have all those heavy bricks over there, so I kind of want to just take stuff out as fast as I can. try and get Devour procced, which we've already got it procced, but those 2 melees did not take anything out. And this is when, like I said, I've said this many times and I'll keep saying it, you want to keep moving. Use your super when you need to. Use your prismatic when your prismatic, whatever it is, whenever you need to. I'll think transcendence. There we go. Use transcendence whenever you can. Anything that'll save your life, do it. With the void satiation, with the void worm in this, you can get your super back super fast. Obviously not right now whenever it's starved, but all right, I'm gonna put that down there just to get a little bit of healing. And there we go. That was a good example of Radiant allowing Lost Signal to be anti-barrier. It chunked it down before I started shooting it, and that's how we were able to do that. Another tip I want to give you guys during this section, target priority. Focus on the things that are coming at you. The tanks in the back, they're scary, yes, but as long as you keep moving and you don't move in one spot for too long, you'll be fine. Now we got to worry about this other honor guard here. Gonna go ahead and put a weaken on him. See if we can. There we go. All right, so there is all that. Now we just have the tanks. Whenever it's just the tanks here, you can use your grenade launcher to weaken them and then focus on the front 2 like hover engines. See, that one, I took it out and it almost did half of its health just by taking that one thing out. Being weakened, it takes more damage and you're able to take it out faster. Once we take 1 tank out, 2 more barrier champs will spawn in. And it's through the door on the bottom left and through the door on the bottom right. The same place where they came last time. So just remember that if you want to do the super thing again, which I believe I do here, we're going to, throw a grenade. We're going to super. And then I didn't use my grenade launcher. And that is unfortunate. But down here, we're pretty safe from the tank, unless it comes over to the left like it did there. I was sitting there, I was like, uh-oh, we're slowed. The tank's looking at me. We just need to get out of here. I also thought I took the barrier out. Turns out I didn't. So that you see that little shake of my mouse there. I kind of got a little upset at myself for not taking that barrier out. If I had stayed for 1 more second, I could have taken him out. But that 1 more second could have meant that I would have died. So now the barriers in this part will aggro you. They will kind of push you a little bit. So just make sure you are ready for that. I'm going to go ahead and weaken them and just try and get as much damage off on them. I'm pretty safe here from the tank. As you saw there, I jumped just in time. That was honestly luck. I couldn't hear the tank shot. A lot of times you can hear them shoot, but with so many things shooting at me, plus it being the spur of the moment, I kind of don't really hear them shooting. I'm trying to get the void starvation to go away. I want the void satiation to come into play so that way I can get my abilities back faster. Again, just move around, move sporadically. Don't move in a known pattern. I did not hear the warhounds this time, so they the war beasts, so they kind of took me by surprise, but not the end of the world here. A lot of them end up getting frozen by my grenade anyway. We're going to toss another one over there where a lot of the other enemies are to try and start getting some crowd control on them. Hit him with that, and then take this war beast out. So now I believe it's just the barrier champs and the 2 barrier champs and then the tank. No, we already took out one of the barriers. So 1 barrier and then the honor guard. I'm going to focus on the honor guard here. Once you start whittling things down like you see here, you can kind of, for lack of better terminology, relax. You don't want to let your guard down because anything can happen, but just the biggest threat for you right now are those tank shots and the honor guard shots, as you can see here, because I get literally put to 1 HP by it. That was almost the end of my run there, so I'm very happy that that we were able to get through with that. But we'll have our super almost back before we leave this room, just off of damage from the tank. I believe I took out both the honor guard and the barrier there. I'm finally realizing that now, so we're just going to kind of get the ability surge going. We're full on heavy ammo already. And then, yeah, now it's just us and the tank. We just need to focus them down, take them out, focus one of the engines at a time, and then you will... that last shot was able to do a little bit of damage, so we're able to weaken him. I'm just trying to get the hunger up. I'm not trying to do crit damage to him. I'm just trying to get my ability surge going, so that way I get more of my super back before we leave this room. And now I'm focusing on that front right engine. All right, you know everything has been taken out whenever all of the deployables in the room go down, and that's the hardest part of this dungeon, in my opinion. The final boss is tough, but it just requires discipline, whereas that is just very hectic. You have to keep moving. There's going to be, Legionary and 2 Scions in this room. I believe I leave that guy alone. No, not in this run, because he does start shooting at me. Sometimes the second Scion will be behind the hatch right here in front of us. You don't have to take him out. You can just go. All right, this next section, what we want to do is don't move the arc charge, or don't move the charge until everything is taken out. Nothing will keep spawning in. Just take everything out, then get the arc charge. So we're going to throw our turret out there. There is an unstop here. So there is the unstoppable there. Waiting to get that stun on him. There's the stun. Going to put a little bit more damage on him with unraveling. He's already weakened. He's just, without us using our heavy, he's taken as much damage, like literally as much damage as we can throw at him. Get another damage over time. Now we're going to pull out Deterministic Chaos. Be careful of the Scion up top, the Honored Scion. I kind of didn't realize that there was an explosive tank there. But yeah, explosive payload for the win here. There we go. Take out the Legionary there. You don't necessarily have to take out the Scion up top, but sometimes they're a bane, and it's very tough. All right, throw a grenade at the door, pick up the arc charge to get the door to spawn, or to get the door to open, and then you can hide behind this little canister here. Let the turret do a lot of the heavy lifting here to do a lot of the crowd control, because those gladiators will just W key you. They will absolutely ruin your run. They also have a lot more health than a normal red bar in this GM. So yeah, so we're able to take them all out. Now, don't go in the room. There's a turret. There are 2 turrets to the left. Only one that you have to worry about right now, which is that one. But there are 2 turrets up there. Remember that. Now we're going to focus on the other things, not necessarily on the barrier champ, but we see that the barrier is frozen here. So we're just going to go ahead and stun him at least, take out the other honored legionary there, and then now just focus on the barrier champ. This is going to be, these barrier champs are the ones that will absolutely ruin your run, just because they have those Ugga Dugga cannons. It's just, those slug launchers are crazy. They're like the Scorpius turrets, but handheld. There's the second Scorpius. You can take it out at the door to the left. You don't necessarily have to come out here like I did. But yeah. Now we are going to see where the Scion is. I don't see him anywhere, so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to jump over here. Be careful of the rocks. Twice when previously doing this GM, I've been killed almost by the rocks. Like, I'll be in a firefight, rock will come up, put me at 1 HP, I'll take 1 tick of damage, and I'll die. So it's happened twice out of the 40 times, so it's not often, but it can happen. I'm like, you know what, I really want to use this, but nah, I'm not going to. I'm just going to save as much ammo as I can. Be careful coming into this room. because there are 3 Scorpius turrets. One right there in the middle. There's one up top on the left, and there's one over on the right. As long as you don't, I mean, you can stand here where I am, take out that one, and not have to worry about the others. Don't take out the special named guy. It's going to be different every time. It'll be a Scion. It'll be you know, some other type of Cabal. The special named people in this section need to be taken out last. And the reason being is because once that guy is taken out, let's say if I take him out and not the barrier and that phalanx and other things around him, there'll be some gladiators that spawn in behind me, and you don't want that because you're going to be fighting from 2 fronts. I was very fortunate there that the barrier champ got knocked off from the concussion from the stasis crystal exploding. That was awesome. I didn't want to have to deal with them, and now I really don't have to deal with them. There's Optus again. We're going to wait to throw this grenade yet because it takes the stuff a little bit to spawn in. We want like optimal timing. There we go. One of them's a Bane, I just realized again, so we're going to just shoot from cover. We're going to shoot and get to cover because the Bane does a lot of damage. We're also able to do a lot of damage with the stasis crystals exploding, so it kind of plays into each other. I believe there are anywhere from 4 to 6 gladiators, and so now that this last gladiator is taken out, there's going to be a couple more Cabal and a barrier champ over there on the left. Again, be careful of these barrier colossus. These are the guys that you don't want to mess around with. I was ADSing with that. I was aiming down the sights of the grenade launcher, and it just shot the floor in front of me for some reason. So that's why I did a little, you know, mouse shake there. I do remember that part. We need to take the barrier champ out. We're going to put this down just in case he does get a couple rounds off on us. We will have that overshield to have time to react. I saw that there was ammo, so we're just going to go ahead and take him out there. All right. There is still that Scion up top, and there he is. I'm unsure if we take him out. Be careful of Warlock jump. You Warlock mains will know what I'm talking about. This build and stuff can work with any class. You just... I'm a Warlock main. All right, so we do end up taking him out. We're full on all of our ammo, so we're going to grab the core. Be careful of the rocks. Yep, that I looked at the spot where I died twice to rocks coming through the grate. There we go. This next section, right before the elevator, what you want to do, throw a grenade. Wait a little bit for stuff to spawn in. I waited a little bit too long, so the War Beast kind of got a little bit closer than I had wanted there, but it's not the end of the world. We were able to take him out. Just back up if you need to. Only the unstoppable champ will push you here. So that's what you really need to worry about here. Don't worry about the barrier colossus, although the barrier colossus does have the slug launcher. So you do need to respect the barrier champ, but don't focus him because the incinerator, like I said, the incinerator champ is going to be the one that will W key you when they get a chance. But if you keep pressure on him, he's not going to want to W key you. I crouch here to try and get a grenade launcher off, which we are able to get. There is the Unstop. Now we got to worry about the barrier colossus. I strongly dislike these barriers because they can absolutely melt you. I don't want to use my super yet, although hindsight being 2020, I know I get my super back whenever we interact with the, it's like a rally barricade, but without the ammo. We get our abilities back. I just want to do it just with my weapons. That way I don't have to worry about it. I see the green brick in front of me. So we just go ahead and focus this guy down. Get another weaken on him. He's still weakened, but it's a damage over time. It's just more damage, yeah. You'll see how many things are left by these markers over their head. So you see that phalanx is the last one. All right, now it is final boss time. Up this elevator. and down a hall will be the final boss. This just requires, the final boss just requires discipline. And that's something that I have a hard time dealing with sometimes. I kind of, what my best friend and I call Titan brain. I kind of just like, oh, there's only a few things left. Let me W key them. And then I realize, oh, wait, this is a GM. And I get humbled. So this next section, the final boss room, make sure you throw your grenade before you interact with the totem or with the whatchamacallit in the middle. So that way you'll have a grenade down, the boss will spawn in, and when you interact with it, it'll give you a grenade back. There are going to be 2 sets of Unstop champions in this, and they come out at the end of the first and second damage phase. So here at the beginning, we're going to throw our grenade like you saw, and then we're going to run under here to the middle. This is our safe spot from those solar attacks that the boss will do. Once you do enough damage on the boss, though, you'll hear an audible cue. Right there, that horn, that means that stuff's spawning. So you want to get ready, throw another grenade. I saved my grenade just for that. We want to focus one side at a time. 3 things will spawn on the left, 3 things will spawn on the right. There is another of those. We'll go ahead and let that slowly start chipping away at that guy over there on the left, or I'm sorry, on the right, just by how we're looking at it. I unfortunately wasn't able to get there fast enough. The vents in the middle will open up, as you see there. They will open up and start to do damage, but I'm in here, and you can see the damage isn't that bad, but it will damage you. So yeah, this is where I go. We're just waiting on the Void Hunger to go away. There we go. There's the ability surge. And now we're really only going to use our heavy. We're really only going to use our heavy in order to take out the champions. And save your super. Rule number, like one of the rules, not rules, but one of the guidelines I give you, save your super. You need your super to go take out the barrier generator. Because if you don't have that taken out, like if you don't have your super, it's going to be actually really hard to take out those things. Because the boss can just 2-shot you, the boss can 1-shot slam you. It's absolutely crazy. So, like I said, I recommend you save your super just to take out the shield generators. We've only got about 1/3 of his health left. And then I'll show you where the barrier spawn in on both sides. So if you look to my here in a little bit, you'll look to my left. That door over there on the left, that's where one barrier champ is going to come through, and the other one is going to come through that same door, but on the other side. I'm just trying to get the Void Hunger to go away here, as well as do damage. I've learned many times if I take 1 shot from the boss, just heal. You don't have to keep doing damage to him. There we go. All right, now we are going to throw one of my grenades over there on that side. We're gonna wait for him to get frozen. We're gonna shoot him with the grenade launcher and then just absolutely lay into him with the heavy machine gun. Now that he is frozen again, we're gonna toss this here. The reason being is because that other Unstop, I see that frozen marker there on the right. That means the other Unstop from the other side is coming to this side. I want to take this guy out as fast as I possibly can. There we go. Now we're gonna just reset. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So don't get yourself killed by doing something stupid like I've done so many times. I'm telling you from personal experience. We lay everything we have into the Unstop. There we go. That's it. Those are both Unstops for this section, and we don't have to worry about it. We don't really have to worry about them anymore. I'm going to super, and then I'm going to go behind this pillar right here in front of me, put down my Healing Rift, and then pull out Doom Petitioner, and then just focus on the shield gen. We don't want to do anything else. We're going to cut this corner. Now stuff has spawned in, so we're okay with that because we have our grenades. After the first the first damage phase, the boss will become much more aggro for the rest of the time. So just make sure you are swapping side to side. Use your grenades. Like I can see right there that somebody's frozen. Use your grenades to kind of tell you where stuff is. You see him over there, coming over there on the left. So we're going to come over here to the right. We kind of want to just bait him back and forth, left, right, left, right. I was fortunate enough. I have no idea how I did this, to be honest. But I was able to get him kind of stuck over there on the left. And so I'm able just to kind of sit over here and do damage to him. Again, more unstops will show up whenever we damage him. And that's when it becomes hard because he'll be above us. I mess up, though, and I misuse my super. Well, I use my super in order to not die. But we are going to have to fast forward. We've still got about 10 minutes here. We're going to have to fast forward through that because I don't want to sit here for what felt like forever. It was probably 3 to 5 minutes that we just had to sit there and wait for our super to come back. But again, I don't know how I got the boss to kind of just stay on one side. Usually he's going back and forth. It's a first for me. But hey, I'll take it. Usually what you would need to be doing is just running back and forth, doing a little damage to him here and there. You can just stay here too, and you don't have to worry about any of their solar attacks. I take a look at his health. He's got half of this bar left, so I go ahead and throw my grenade. We've only got a few seconds left on our ability surge. Here's the tonics that I were using. The stasis crystallization, the ones that allow your I'll go over it. I think I went over it at the beginning, but you can check your tonics in the middle of a GM. You just can't change your equipment or anything. So I went ahead, and that only had 2 minutes left on it, so I just go ahead and put another one there because I have no idea how long I'm going to be here. It's really uncommon behavior from the boss because for some reason he's just sitting there. He's not shooting, he's not dodging, he's just kind of taking it. I'm trying to get the void starvation to go away. There's void hunger, and then now there is the ability surge. So we're gonna wait a little bit until I get my grenade back, and then we're gonna jump over here. I didn't realize that there was a guy to my right. I should have waited, hindsight being 2020, I should have waited to take him out because I believe here in a little bit I'll throw my grenade because I'm like, oh hey, I'll get my ability. I'll get the ability regen back. Here in a second, we're gonna take him. We're gonna get him to go up top, and then the unstops are gonna spawn, and I have to use my super to save myself rather than taking out the shield gen. So right now we're just doing little bits of damage to him here, so that way we can. I'm saving my grenade for sure because of the champions. I don't want to waste it. And here we go. Any second now. There we go. Once you see the immune, get ready for the champions to come out. There's going to be 2 of the unstopped champions again. It gets kind of tough because when he's above us, he's actually like he'll really be able to curve those shots. See, they just follow you. So I'm kind of freaking out here. That puts me super low, and then I realize that the barrier or that the unstop shooting at me. So I just go ahead and super so that way we don't die. I should have jumped up there and taken out the thing. Again, hindsight being 2020. I should have done that. We're going to stun the champion here with the ignition and then just focus on doing damage. You hear all of those solar shots coming at you. It's in the moment, it's nerve-wracking. You're just like, oh man, what am I going to do? So here I'm sitting there thinking, all right, I got my super. I used my super. I need to get this void. I need to get this void starvation to go away. I probably could have used my scout rifle there instead of deterministic chaos to give me some more time. I see the guy up there. We're going to go underneath again. One more thing that happens in this time, in this run too, that's a first for me. Again, I somehow get the boss stuck up top. So I think it's right about here, or it's coming up here in a second. Once he starts shooting at you, you want him to shoot at you. You don't want him to not shoot at you, and somehow I get him like locked onto me. So in reality, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here, but just kidding, I'm not. We're gonna go over here, and then here shortly, he's just gonna start shooting at me. That's when I am going to pause it. So I want to go back and forth right as soon as I see those fireballs coming towards me, because they'll just hit the structure instead of hitting me. There's that. Now we go to this side. I thought I was going to have to do this the entire time. But I believe here, yeah, here is where I get him stuck. He just sits there and shoots at me. So I'll see you guys here in a little bit whenever I have my super and we're able to get the final boss taken out. I'm going to put down my healing rift, and it gives us, oh, we're so close to getting a super. So we're just going to sit here and wait. I'm going to take a look at, I just realized I already did the tonic. And there we go. So now we're going to super here, jump up here with deterministic chaos off. The stomp's not going to kill us because we're in our super. And then we just, like I said before, we just absolutely focus. Now, with it being the third and final phase on the boss, no champions are going to spawn in again. So now it's just these 3 guys on each side that we have to worry about. And then the boss. The boss, again, is going to be super aggro, so just be careful about that. The other things, as long as you are not on this side when they come out, they will just go out in the middle on this phase and just chill out there. So I know that the boss is the last guy that we have to worry about now. I just need to not die to them. Darkness Encroaching doesn't matter because you can't res anyway. Darkness Encroaching is actually, the only thing that it does is it just allows your teammates not to revive anybody, even though they have revives left. We're going to get ready for some damage here. I'm just trying to get the Void Hunger to go away. There's the ability surge. All right, we're going to go to this side. We're going to throw our grenade. We're going to weaken them. I hear the solar shots coming, so I'm hiding for a second. There we go. We froze them, so we didn't have to reload our GL there. Now that I'm like, hey, we've got plenty of heavy ammo left. This is it. This is like the last thing. I'm just telling myself, hey, play it smart, play it smart, play it smart. Do what you can to stay alive, but also don't try and make it take 20 minutes, because that's no fun. There's another weaken on the boss. We're going to let those solar shots go away. Again, we're just going to throw our grenade out there. We're going to let the states like him shattering and stuff like that do the majority of the damage. Here's our super again. I really don't have to shoot these, but I do anyway just because it's fun. And here's the finale. We're just going to absolutely lay into this guy. He's weakened. We're using our heavy. We earned super. We're doing 25% more damage. It's just absolutely amazing. There we go. There's the completion. After almost 40 times trying, we finally got it. It's just, you got to be smart. You got to have discipline. 44-41, took a while, 207 kills, but hey, I'll take it. All right, I appreciate y'all very much. If you think this video will help others, make sure you share it with them. Hit that like button too, and make sure you subscribe. Like I said, we're at over 500 subs. Our next goal is 600. I appreciate you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one.